Okay, so what if I told you there's a secret tool out there that can churn out over 100 AI videos for you in just one click? And get this, it's completely free. No trials, no credit cards, and this is the best part, no limits. Well, today we're going to break down that exact system. I know, it sounds way too good to be true, right? But here's the thing. While everyone's been distracted by all the big, flashy AI models, this quiet little revolution in automation has been happening in the background. And that's what makes this possible. It's a system that's literally designed to just sidestep all the usual costs and limits, putting the power of mass content creation right in your hands. And look, this isn't just some theory or a neat little trick. There are actual channels out there right now using these kinds of automated story strategies to pull in some absolutely massive numbers. I mean, we are talking about earnings of tens of thousands of dollars every single month, all because they turned their content creation from a hobby into a system. All right, so let's pull back the curtain and see how this whole thing actually works. Here's the game plan for today. First, we'll cover the big idea, the unlimited video promise. Then, I'll show you the exact toolkit you're going to need. After that, we'll dive into crafting prompts with ChatGPT. Then comes the fun part, automating Meta AI. And finally, we'll put it all together in the final assembly. The biggest problem for pretty much every creator out there isn't a lack of ideas. We've all got a million ideas, right? The real bottleneck, the thing that stops us, is just the sheer amount of time it takes to do all the scripting, the editing, finding the visuals. That's the grind. And honestly, that's where most people just throw in the towel. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got the old way, which is that slow, painful, manual grind, one video at a time. But then you have the new automated way. And this is all about building a machine, a content machine that works for you. It lets you test a ton of ideas, upload way more often, and see some seriously rapid growth. So to build this machine, guess what? You don't need a giant budget. You don't need a fancy studio. You just need 4 specific tools, and they're all free, working together like a perfectly tuned orchestra. So here's the dream team. First up, you've got Meta AI. Think of this as your video generation engine, powerful, and again, free. Then there's Autometa. This is a little Chrome extension that acts like the pilot, telling the engine what to do. Next is ChatGPT, our story and prompt navigator, the creative genius behind the whole operation. And finally, Google AI Studio comes in as our voiceover artist to give it all a professional sound. Okay, let's get into the creative core of this whole thing, because this is where the magic really starts. It all begins with telling ChatGPT exactly what you want, with some very specific instructions. And I can't stress this enough. This is the most crucial part. The quality of those 100 videos you're going to make, it 100% depends on the quality of the prompts you write at the very beginning. It's the classic garbage in, garbage out scenario. But a really well-structured automation-ready prompt, oh yeah, that is where the magic happens. So step 1 is the story prompt. It all starts with this first command. And you're not just vaguely asking for a story. Nope, you're giving ChatGPT a really structured prompt that's specifically designed to spit out a unique, compelling narrative every single time, like that story about the giant crow we saw in the source material. Now, once you have that story, we hit it with a second prompt, and this one is maybe even more important. Think of it like a converter. It basically tells ChatGPT, hey, read that story you just wrote, and now break it down sentence by sentence into a list of visual commands for Meta AI. This is so important for making sure your characters and the whole visual style stay consistent from one clip to the next. All right, so we've got our big list of video instructions ready to go. Now it's time to hand them over to our tireless little robot assistant and just let the automation do its thing. Okay, so inside that Autometa Chrome extension, the setup is, well, it's surprisingly simple. All you gotta do is select your aspect ratio, 9:16 for shorts and reels, paste in that whole long list of prompts we just made, and then, this is important, make sure Auto Download Videos is checked. Honestly, the default settings for everything else usually work perfectly fine. And that's basically it. The actual execution is just beautiful in its simplicity. You open Meta AI, you open the Autometa extension, you paste your prompts, and you click Run. From that moment on, Autometa just takes over. It starts feeding each prompt to Meta AI one by one, generating and then downloading every single video clip, all while you can go grab a coffee. You don't have to lift another finger. Okay, so while that whole automation process is chugging along in the background, we're not just going to sit around and watch the progress bar, right? No way. We can use this time super efficiently and get the audio track ready to go. Yeah, this is what I mean by a parallel process. While the videos are being made, we just hop back over to ChatGPT, copy that original story script, and then head straight to Google's AI Studio. You just paste in the text, pick a voice that you like, and boom, it generates a super high-quality audio file of your story in just a few seconds. So let's just step back and look at the whole assembly line from start to finish. You start with your idea. That goes into the story prompt in ChatGPT. Then, you convert that story into a bunch of video prompts. You kick off the automated generation with Automata. While that's running, you generate the voiceover with Google AI Studio. And the very last step is a simple drag-and-drop edit in something like CapCut to put the clips and the audio together. It's a complete content factory. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? I mean, this is so much more than just a cool little trick. It's really a fundamental shift in thinking. This workflow transforms content creation from this painstaking, purely artistic thing into a scalable, repeatable system, a system that pretty much anyone can set up and run. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these tools get better and better and the ability to generate content becomes basically infinite, what's actually going to be valuable? What skills, what kinds of ideas, or what qualities are going to rise to the top in this totally new creative world? Definitely something to think about.